A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon, and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz, Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. We are in our beautiful Wisconsin Sports Radio studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. At least bundled up Tommy is. Tommy, is it cold in there?
No,
okay, bro?
I just like the vibe right now. I feel like it's, I feel like I'm looking smooth right here.
You're wearing a sleeping bag. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Just trying to be presentable for the people, okay?
For sure. This is the Mason Crosby Show. Mason Crosby is here. And Mason Crosby, of course, talked to Tim Allen yesterday. So now he's got to wear his baseball shirt.
Yeah, I fully shifted. I'm shifting gears. It's last day of the week at the end, the end of the Packers season, all the stuff we've talked about. I'm ready. I'm ready to just, start shifting my focus. And it's definitely not going to be towards the Bucks. So we're probably going to. And speaking of Brewers, this is the year anniversary of the amazing Bob Uecker. I still remember last year. One of the bigger moments in my time on the radio was covering the death of Bob Uecker, and just like only a few people in all of sports could literally stop sports media and just have everybody focus on his life and his accolades and what he did.
Well, and you bring that up. You remember, we were not this statewide network at the time, and it was we got to go wall to wall for hours after that. And I think we were done by 11, right? We're waiting for Sparky at 2, and we ended up going all the way through 5 o'clock on that. And it was crazy. I mean, it was in the middle of our show at the time, and the Brewers announced it, I believe, at 9:45 that day last year. Like you said, Mason, I think it's a great way to put it. There's not many people, especially from this market, that the entire sports media world would stop for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was wild. We were scrambling, getting people on to interview and talk about his life. It's again, what a memory that he left, and just his legend that he's left now, not just for the game of baseball, but just in people's memories and life, and what they view summers in Wisconsin and summers with baseball. So it's always fun to remember his life and the amazing run he had there announcing the Brewers.
Yes, much love to Bob Uecker. Absolutely, the voice of our summers. The voice, even as old as I am, I will say the voice of our childhood, the voice of our mowing the lawn, the voice, everything that you can think of with spring and summer. Bob Uecker was a part of that here throughout the state of Wisconsin. So much love to Bob Uecker. And then on the flip side, we've got a poll question up right now at WI Sports Radio on Twitter, on X, and we're trying to trade everybody. I said to Mason and Tommy earlier today, I said, there's a report out in the New York Post, John Heyman reporting that the Mets and the Yankees are both talking to the Brewers about Freddie Peralta. We know that Matt LaFleur has not signed an extension, a deal with the Packers yet. And we know that the Bucks lose by 30 every night, and Giannis cannot be happy. So I said to Tommy and Mason, I said, what if the Packers trade LaFleur, the Brewers trade Freddie, and the Bucks trade Giannis all on the same day? And so first, all of our heads exploded. Yeah. Then we put our heads back together and we said, what's a good poll question to come up with these? And Mason, what do you think about what we put up there?
Well, obviously, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out on Twitter. I reposted. I know Mitch and Tommy have reposted. It's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Twitter account. Just go tune in. I mean, it's dead even. I feel like it's everybody's kind of okay, whoever, if anyone gets traded in this trio, that might be good, for their franchise. So it's kind of a fascinating poll. Tommy crushed it. But I just feel like I don't know. I was trying to decide, and I landed mostly on, as I kept going back and forth, mostly on Giannis. I was like, I think if the Bucks, with kind of their limitations in their draft and all the different things, and his kind of disdain right now, it feels like with playing and with the crowd stuff, I feel like that one could be a bump for that team. I feel like Freddie Peralta, and like, obviously, unless you get a king's ransom, I mean, that, like, do you have other studs that can like replace him? Like,
Right.
That's going to take some time. That's going to take work to replace a Freddie Peralta.
So the question we have up right now is, which Wisconsin sports trade would set up their team best for the future if it were to happen? And we went back and forth about this question versus like, which of these would hurt you the most, would like make you the saddest. And we ended up going with process over feelings, or whatever that banner is at Lambeau. Whatever, like results over feelings, whatever it is. Right now, Giannis trade is at 40%. Which Wisconsin sports trade would set their team up best for the future? Matt LaFleur trade at 31%. Freddie Peralta trade at 28%. And I might surprise both of you. I voted for Freddie Peralta.
Wow.
Because I do think they're getting a ransom for him. And I do think they're getting what they need to get back from the Yankees or Mets. And I know, listening to you and Tim Allen Wednesday night, like, you guys are going through the lineup, and Sparky did this yesterday too. Going through the lineup, that lineup is stacked.
Yeah.
Pitching is where they need help. And if
So
they
you're
end up
thinking, if you get
three,
Freddie Peralta and maybe you get like some young players and a prospect.
Right. Okay. Get like 3 young arms. All of a sudden, that's a conversation.
Yeah. If you look at the question specifically for the future, right?
Yep.
Like, obviously you want Peralta on this team right now, but yeah, if you're thinking for the future, that's a good point.
What's crazy is I almost texted you guys beforehand, like, I kind of want each of us to take a side of this. And I was gonna, I can talk Brewers, Mitch can talk Bucks, Mason can talk Packers. And then Mason says he comes out, votes for Giannis. Mitch comes out, says he votes for Freddie Peralta, and I voted for Matt LaFleur on this. I mean,
you can't make up confrontation on sports radio. The people who make it up, like the 4-letter network, it's all crap. When you're real like we are, it's actual magic.
Yeah, we're just real people. Living day to day.
That's our 4-letter word.
And
real.
I set it up with Matt LaFleur because I think I have a great setup with some Micah Parsons sound. And I want to let you guys hear this because I know you guys, I don't know if Mason, you said you did hear it or not, but I know Mitch said he hadn't. It's from a couple of days ago, but it didn't really break to Twitter until yesterday. They were gatekeeping this sound for whatever reason. And Micah Parsons spoke about some effort in the locker room. And I immediately heard this and thought, Mason Crosby might cry on air when he hears this.
Love that.
And so I wanted to play it back for you. Here is Micah Parsons speaking on effort in Green Bay.
Yeah, the change is the players. Us players are the one that's playing the game. The change is the players. I challenge the guys, like I said, today, do more than what your job's required. If you're in shape, run more. Do more. We got to be out there like, we need to be playing. If we got to play 80 snaps, we play 80 snaps, but we shouldn't be tired doing that. We got to strain through, like, look how many plays we lost because we got outstrained. Like, those things that can't happen. People can't outwork, like, and when your effort matches what you're trying to say in the locker room, then it carries over more, man. Like I dare people to beat me to the ball. Like, you know what I mean? I'm running to the ball like my life depends on it. Like, and it do, because, like, my life depends on the outcome of how this team plays. Like, I need you to want to beat me to the ball. I need you to want to beat me to the quarterback every play. Like, everything's a competition. Like, even though we're teammates, we're still competing to reach the same common goal, because as I realize this, I want the same success for you as I want for me. Whether you get your money here, or you get your money somewhere else, we're all tied together, but our one goal is to get to that championship. So we're competing together, even though we're on the same team. Like, you can't coach effort. And that's the mentality that I want guys to embrace. Like, we have to go to get, like, there's the saying, to do something, or that you've never done, you have to, you know what I mean? Like, to get something you've never done, you have to do something you've never done. You know what I mean? So that means as players, we got to push ourselves more in the offseason. That 98 days before we're back together, push yourself harder. Start running, start working out, push yourself, have someone challenge you every day. So that way when you come to, OTAs, you're ready. Once that's done and you come to training camp, you're even more ready. Like, those are things that we can control. Our effort, our conditioning, just things like that. Like, and I'm gonna be, one of the leaders when it comes to that.
Attitude, energy, and effort.
I mean,
Micah's my guy.
Mike.
Hold on though. I love what he said, but is he literally did he just write a letter to Rashawn Gary?
Yeah.
Like is anybody else involved? Is he basically saying, Rashawn Gary, you suck?
Well, yeah. How did I run past you 45 times whenever you were in front of me?
When he said this,
I dare people to beat me to the ball.
I mean, that I got chills and thought about Rashawn Gary immediately.
I dare people to beat me to the ball.
Think about that. He is the highest paid man on that defense, and he is the hungriest. It's just like, how is that the case necessarily, right? It's like, but give me more of that. And I don't know if his mentality, because of some of the way it's become up there, maybe scared some guys. They're just like, oh my God, you want me to compete with you? Right. Like, you want me to try to be chase you and be have you mad at me because I beat you to the ball carrier? I don't know. Are guys scared of that challenge?
Well, and Mitch,
that's the question.
Mitch, the reason why I voted for LaFleur is, if kind of off of Mason's thought there, I don't think that was instilled until Micah Parsons got in that building.
Good point.
Right.
He drove that defense that direction. At least in the first, he willed that defense to play with energy and effort, and then he was gone, and it was that died with him, right? That just was gone with him.
That makes me so sad. And I totally agree with what you're both saying, but that makes me sad that wasn't part of it. And I'll go back though. I'll go back and I'll say, listen, what was the difference between this year and last year? Why did the team have more sacks last year? Why was Rashawn Gary not great, but better? Why did he look so bad this year? Did he rest on his laurels because he thought Micah was next to him? Or did he just he finally figured out how much money he actually has in his bank account and he doesn't have to work hard anymore? What happened? How much of it is on Hafley? How much of it is it on LaFleur? How much is it on Gary himself? And I don't know if anybody can get mentally. We talked about how mentally in touch our show is with ourselves and with our fans. I don't know that anybody's mentally in touch with Rashawn Gary at this point. I just think he's I think he's an enigma.
Do you think something mysteries. The expectation, Micah Parsons comes in, trades for 2 first-round picks, all the money, Kenny Clark's gone, and then it's were there guys that are just well, I mean, he's getting paid. We'll just kind of do our stuff behind the scenes, put him out in front, imagine. And it's there are egos in this game, mind you, as well, where it's man, he's getting paid $55 million or whatever. Let him do all the work. It's why would I give more effort? And it's but that is not the case. He's getting paid $55 million because he gives that energy and effort. And I loved how he said you can't coach effort. But on a little, caveat to that is you can demand effort.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this a few times. I think the accountability and demand of what is expected is lacking. Yep. And that needs to change.
Sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Because you can't coach it. You can't be oh man, let's coach you up on how to give effort. It's no, if you don't give it, there's a consequence. It's just like parenting, right? It's you don't do what you're asked to do, you get a consequence. There has to be some just straightforward back and forth of, you don't give max effort, your attitude stinks, you're not giving the energy that we want. We're doing something you're out of here. You're doing something else, right? So I think the demand is what coaches have to do. But then I love Micah. It is on that locker room. If Micah takes that locker room, galvanizes it, and takes it to a different level and says, we are the locker room The coaches can give us all the X's and O's, but we are going to do this our way, and we're going to get max effort, max energy, the best attitude, positivity going onto this field every day. That is how you build a championship caliber team, right? And in an organization. So the coaches have to demand that, and the players have to execute it every time they step on the field.
So going back to our poll question then, 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Feel free to give us a call or shoot us a text, 414-677-1250. When we're talking about which Wisconsin sports trade would set up their team best for the future if it were to happen, Tommy, as we know, voted for Matt LaFleur. And if Micah Parsons' words don't match up with Matt LaFleur's attitude or Matt LaFleur's presence or Matt LaFleur's culture, I'm picking Micah Parsons on that side based on what he said, based on his motor, based on what I see on the field, and based on what I see from other guys on the field. I'm siding with Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go to the Nicolay Law Talk and text line, 414-677-1250 if you want to be a part of the Mason Crosby Show. Rocky is in Hartford. You're on the Mason Crosby Show, Rocky.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thunder, how's it going, buddy?
Rocky, it is so good to hear your voice. It's going great, and I'm just like, it's an honor. Thank you for calling in. Great to hear from you.
So maybe this is more directed at Mason.
Okay.
If I'm the GM of a football team, and there's a guy on the board who was the number one recruit in all of high school football and didn't do squat in college, and you can't teach effort, why would you pick that guy, number one? Why would you give that guy a contract you gave that only plays part-time? I don't understand why this isn't the biggest red flag on Goody that's out there with Rashawn Gary.
That's
the guy's never given effort anywhere he's been.
That's a great point. And unfortunately, hey, I love that take. And unfortunately, when he came in, he was, I like, don't get me wrong, Preston Smith, one of my favorite teammates that I ever had. But he was openly, him and Zedarius were open about their effort they would give whenever they needed to get a contract or whenever they needed, it was effort in moments, right? And that just is not, that's not Micah Parsons, but I believe Rashawn Gary learned a lot from that. They taught him some different moves and some different things, but I believe their mentality really rubbed off on him. And he's a product of, he was a rookie when those two guys were on the team. He's a product of what those,
I hate that.
What those two kind of taught him. And again,
but that's a great point. I think you're right. You learn from your veterans, right? How much did you learn from the guys who, when in 07 and 08, how much did you learn from
I had
your
Rob
veterans?
Davis. I learned so much from Rob Davis. He was with Longwell, he was with those guys, and it was his mentality. And luckily I already I had this in me, was earn it every day, be consistent, show up, accountability, availability, and just hey, you get a paycheck on Tuesday every couple of weeks. Whenever you show up, they haven't fired you. All right, we live to play another week. It was just that mentality of survive and keep thriving. And so I was fortunate enough to have guys like that. And then I had John Ryan, who's Canadian and crazy. And so
big pickle guy.
I feel like you didn't need to say crazy. I feel like you could have just said Canadian and we all infer.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
He's either funny or crazy.
Oh, he's both.
Yeah. We'll get him on if the Seahawks win, maybe. That'd be a fun one to get back on, right? Yeah. Thanks for the call, Rocky. But then again, feel free, chime in all throughout the show, right, on this one, because it would be Mitch Nellis bringing this idea up and then all of us getting together on which one would be the best for it. That was pro stuff, guys. I'm proud of us.
Once a month, I come with oh, wait, I'm a radio professional. Maybe I'll come up with an idea that works.
Yeah.
That's nice.
The rest of the time, I don't work that hard, except when my contract is about to be up, and then I'll put in a real month's work just to get the.
When are we going to start pushing for that next contract?
See what I did there?
Man. I don't know. Are we all lame ducks at this point? What's happening?
That's the thing in this industry. We're all lame ducks every day. So let's just come with the energy every day and make radio magic. Make internet magic, make social media magic, all the above. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. By the way, totally random, but what just popped up on my Twitter feed, Mason, is the all 22 of Keyshawn Nixon on DeAndre Swift's touchdown.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, could anyone ever give less effort? I would cut him. After seeing that, I feel like he could have tackled him at the 4, and he just watched the whole play.
Look, he didn't engage. He definitely could have come up like the field.
I am all.
He just stood there.
Look, I get let's poo-poo on effort on Keyshawn Nixon for sure. There's 10 better clips than that one to do it on. In
there
my
might
opinion.
be. That's even worse then.
Yeah, 100%.
That's even worse.
100%.
Cut his ass today.
Yeah.
I said the A double crooked letter. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. We've got a great show today. Dusty Evely from Acme Packing. He's gonna join us at 1:00. We're gonna talk about Jeff Hafley. Should he be leaving for a new job? He's on like half the openings. He's on their lists, so there's a chance he gets a job. But there's like 10 names on every list.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a little crazy right now as we watch what's going on. But we'll peek in on him. We got to talk about Giannis and the Bucks because they are just amazing. And we've got to talk about Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers, Bo Bichette now to the Mets. While I was sitting here, I realized I had this Dante Bichette Brewers baseball card.
Love
So
Dante
I just wanted to
Bichette.
show that off to everybody.
Was that in the steroid era?
This
He's
actually
huge.
was just before the steroid era,
He is
but Dante
massive.
Bichette definitely also played when he went to. So he was on the Angels. He came to the Brewers when he went to Colorado. First of all, that thin air and the steroids. There
I
was
was a big Dante Bichette fan, and when I lived in Colorado.
Yeah,
Inaugural year.
he hit some bombs in Coors Field.
Oh,
That's for sure. We've got plenty to get to. We want to hear from you. 414-677-1250. Which organization comes out looking the best if Giannis, Matt LaFleur, and or Freddie Peralta end up getting traded all on the same day? That would be crazy. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of our Green Bay Packers.
I dare people to beat me to the ball.
What do we got going on here? Is this Country Mondays on a Friday?
We haven't had Toby Keith in way too long on this show.
I feel like our themes have fallen off, so I'm glad you brought something back.
Yeah,
I agree.
That song bangs.
Yeah. I don't know if it bangs, but it definitely hits.
All right.
Like, I feel like bangs is like a song I'm going to like bob my head to. This one I just kind of like feel in my soul. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. Mason Crosby here as well. Remember, our poll question is up and active. Which Wisconsin sports trade would set up their team best for the future if it were to happen? Giannis, Freddie Peralta, Matt LaFleur are your options. Giannis is at 40%, Matt LaFleur at 31%, Freddie Peralta at 29%. A pretty even poll, which in my mind means we did a pretty good job. Like if you throw out a poll that's like 90%, 5%, and 5%, you're just asking a garbage.
You just wanted
question.
someone to agree with you, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think we did all right here. Mason, I know you saw the tweet that Tommy shared with us earlier today. Some of those coaching job openings going on. Looks like John Harbaugh's it's not finalized in New York, but he's going to be the Giants. Right? I don't think is it signed?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that one's kind of just in a holding pattern, waiting for that to be done.
But Baltimore's open, Pittsburgh's open, as well as the rest of the jobs. And we keep hearing Jeff Hafley's name. He's he's officially been requested for, I think, like 4 or 5 of the openings. This is going to be interesting to see what Jeff does he think one of these, like, is Vegas the right fit? Like, do you just take Vegas because it's a head coaching job? Or if that's his only offer, or do you come back to the Packers for a year? Like, how does that? So, Mason, I'm going to go first into the locker room. When your assistants are being courted by teams, like, obviously you're supporting guys in their career path and stuff like that. But how much, like, is there any like, oh man, you should stick with us for another year, or yeah, you got to take this job, or how much is there any chatter at all with the assistant coaches, or once the season ends, is it all just like everybody's on their own?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's gone now, from the building, so there's probably not many conversations. I'm sure throughout the course of the season, all the talk about Hafley, I'm sure guys were asking him what he was thinking and all that. Knowing him, he was probably just like, I'm focused on, right now. Let's not worry about that. Like I'll let y'all know whenever the time comes, after we win the Super Bowl type of thing, you're just going to do the coach speak. So yeah, there aren't a ton of conversations. I remember some of the guys, specifically as like when Hackett was, doing interviews and things like that, just because he's someone that I would literally sit down with him almost every day before practice with him, Lucas Patrick, who else was over there? Turner and a couple of the other offensive linemen, and we just sit and kind of talk about things. So we'd always give him our time, ask what he was going to do, all of those things. And unfortunately, it was like the Denver job became available, and it ended up being kind of like in a sense, a scam. They were just like a holding, like they just wanted somebody to fill a spot to go and get Sean Payton the next year. So kind of got a bad situation there, but it's going to be interesting. I feel like Giants, Steelers, and Ravens are the 3 most desirable jobs, right?
Okay.
Like you gotta look at those, especially the Steelers and Ravens that have only had 3 coaches in their history. So whoever they decide,
it's such a winning tradition.
Yeah. So whoever they pick, you feel really good. We talk about coaches not wanting to have a lame duck year and be in their last year of their contract. Like Pittsburgh Steelers and Ravens historically will stay with a coach and let them develop and like build something great. So those 2 teams have to be the most desirable. And if I'm Jeff Hafley, unless one of those teams offers me at this point, with some of the other teams in that landscape and the coaching cycle, I might choose to stay put one more.
Right.
Year.
And according to the reports here, he has interest or has been, requested with Tennessee, with Pittsburgh, with Miami, with Vegas, with Atlanta, and with Arizona for all of those. So
Atlanta's not bad. Atlanta's not bad.
It sounds like also today, however, Kevin Stefanski is in the lead for the Atlanta job right now.
Ooh, okay.
Nothing.
I like that for Atlanta and Stefanski. I think that's a good match.
Nothing has been set in stone yet, but as far as prediction bases go, it looks like Stefanski has Atlanta in a hold right now. But like you said, Mason, I mean, he doesn't even have an offer or any interest from Baltimore. I think that's a red flag off the jump there. And I don't see, like, the Giants job, Harbaugh's going to go out there and make the most money, and maybe he turns that team into something that can be a playoff 7, wild card team. I don't think they're going to be better than the Eagles anytime soon based on that job.
It's not an immediate turnaround there. That's, if he's there, that like they're hoping to get better in 2, 3, 4 years from now.
Sure.
They're competing. Like, I don't think anybody thinks the Giants are an immediate turnaround situation.
Well, and then like looking back on it, I think the Pittsburgh job is really just the only one I would really want to go see Jeff Hafley leave for, because I don't know how quickly you can turn things around at any of the other places we just named, Mason.
And historically, a lot of the other places are going to knee-jerk make a change if they just don't like what they are seeing after a year.
Tennessee got rid of Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee, Miami is kind of, you're like not sure what that organization is about and like if they're going to, what decisions they're going to make.
That could be a sneaky good job, though. Like, not with Tua there, but like as an organization. I don't know. For some reason, I think that, again, that's a type of organization that could turn around in a couple of years.
Yeah, Vegas.
Vegas is a mess.
Yeah, right? Vegas is a mess. Arizona is.
Baltimore's the best. Baltimore, listen, anytime you can inherit Lamar Jackson, that's got to be the best opening, right?
Yeah, and you got to, like, we said the name Stefanski, like, thinking about him, like, we talk about play style, culture, all that. The Browns weren't good, but they handcuffed themselves with the Watson deal and, like, quarterback situation and all that. But, like, if you look at their play style, always, really competitive on special teams, plays great defense. They try to run the ball. Like, they have an identity of how they play ball. They just kind of, they just got outmatched and they just didn't have the players at times, right? So I think Stefanski potentially is a really good coach. If he gets in the right setting, watch out. He might take a team to a really good spot. So something I found interesting, and I was looking at this because we talked about, as we put up that poll on Twitter, about if Giannis or LaFleur or Freddie Peralta got traded, what would that do for your franchise? But I just was thinking about trades. Like, all right, what could the Packers expect from a trade for Matt LaFleur, right? Sean Payton was traded to the Denver Broncos by the Saints, and that was after he had been suspended, right? Like, it was like in a weird, So,
but also a Super Bowl champion.
But it was a weird, like, it was like there were some issue, like all the stuff that was going on. And here's what he drew from the Broncos. So they sent their first round pick and their 2024 second round pick, and the Saints gave up a 2024 third round pick. So, like, we're saying, like, if they can't, because I was hearing these these stories about LaFleur, maybe the numbers aren't far off as far as like what they think the value of like his services are, but maybe they're not adding enough years, like security on top of that. So if they can't come to an extension, LaFleur's like, I don't want to play that. And they just like, it falls apart. Then you start looking at trades. And if you look at that, like, you gain first round draft picks back, things like that. Like, right. I don't know. Some of those things are, they do have value. I wonder if that's what he would do though. Right. It's like, yeah, if we can't get, like, I don't want to coach out that year, which seems wild to me. I'm like, from a player perspective, I'm like, I'm coming in this last year and I'm going to ball out and I'm going to get a huge contract.
Right.
Like, why do we talk about security?
Why can't coaches think that way, Mason?
Well, and you have to think of it that if something were to happen from it, then you have to like add on these trades, even though they're separate, right? I like to think back to the Josh Hader trade, right? Where everyone was so shocked when Josh Hader got traded from Milwaukee and they brought in Esteury Ruiz. Well, then in that offseason, they flip Esteury Ruiz for William Contreras. So it was, yes, Josh Hader got traded for Esteury Ruiz, but all they had to give up was Esteury Ruiz for William Contreras. And so if there was something professional hitter, Bill,
yeah.
Sorry. But if something happened with Matt LaFleur, then it would almost like pad what happened with the Packers on the Micah Parsons. If they got a first round pick back this year for Matt LaFleur, like, then it's one first round pick for Micah Parsons and Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, you're saying after those comments like today with Mike, like, you're saying you got Micah Parsons for like Matt LaFleur, basically, right? Like, it's like, like, what is that? But at the same time, like, let me say this as well, is you don't hear LaFleur coming out and saying like, I don't feel good coaching on this year. Like, this is what Ed Policy said. I think agents push it. media sometimes pushes it. Like you hear Adam Schefter push it all the time. Like coaches should, like it's not good for them to coach on their last year because they want comfort and security and all that. And I'm like, yeah, that's what we all want.
They're
right?
so soft.
That's what we all want.
Soft.
But I don't know if that's necessarily the coach's mentality, because in LaFleur's brain, he has to be like, yeah, if I coach this year and they don't want me, like, then I'm going to go and make the money somewhere else. Like that's how it, because how do you go into a negotiation and be like, I just want security because I want to know I can't be fired without y'all having to pay me? Like who has that? Like that's wild to think that leverage exists in any world, right? Like it's, or at least that's
what it feels like, right?
That as the argument, right? Like that can be a mindset, or like it's kind of like how you are approaching it. But if you ever went into a room and you're just like, I need this security because I want to make sure that y'all have to pay me if you fire me, it's like, what? Like that's wild.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip that what too. That was a good what. Yeah, I liked it.
414-677-1250, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. We've got a number of texts coming in. Is Jeff Hafley, do the Packers need to hold on to him? Should he take any job? Should he wait for a really good job? And what is the holdup with Matt LaFleur? Is there an issue with coaches coaching the last year of their contract? Somebody wrote in on the talk and text line saying that Jeff Hafley hasn't impressed him. He looks just like Joe Barry. I don't know that I'd say that. Joe Barry, I think, was worse.
Joe Barry had more sacks. Like he created more sacks on his defense.
Jeff Hafley had more sacks last year. So maybe Micah Parsons is the problem.
God,
relax. I don't really mean
stop.
that. Relax, everybody.
Here, let me pose this another question before we go to break too. From a player perspective versus a coach perspective. Had a player kind of had 3 middling year, or like basically 2 years where you thought, okay, this is going, and then a middling year like they did this year. Sure, right. They made the playoffs. Like it was just kind of one of those ho-hum years. There might be a conversation for a player where you're going to say, actually, hey, you want to stay on this team? We're actually going to get, like, you're going to restructure your contract and take a pay cut.
Josh Jacobs.
I did that.
Now,
at some point in my year, in my time there in Green Bay.
Now, they come? What did they say? Like, did they come?
It was incentive based. They were like basically like, hey, just to protect like that. If you have a year like you did, like, so this was after 2012 season, the 2013 had a heck of a end of camp, like earned my spot back. But they were just like, hey, if it goes awry in the season, like we want some outs. And I was willing to bet on myself. I earned every penny back because 2013 was my best season up until, at that point in my career. Nice. So it was just one of those where I'm like, the differences in players versus coaches just is a little mind boggling, like how they view it and how it's not this like, hey, you got to earn this. Like what? Why do guys just keep getting jobs if they haven't had success other places? Like that kind of stuff just really, really frustrates me.
I dare people to beat me to the ball.
Yeah.
Tommy, I love that Mason Crosby wants to revamp the system.
Yeah, I'm revamping.
Yes.
Get me into coaching. I'll revamp this whole thing.
Dude,
let's go.
Yeah, I'm all
now,
in.
I need to be a front office guy. That's the other job I'm vying for.
Dude, Andrew Brandt was on this morning with Inside Wisconsin Sports, our guy. I mean, he's just every time he talks, I just have to listen.
Yeah, he'd be my cap guy for sure if I was GM.
Yeah, he would be. Can you work in the front office and be the special teams coordinator? Like, can you do double dip?
Just buy the team. Just buy the Cowboys, and you can do that. Yeah.
Molly, are you listening? Can I do that?
Yeah, Molly's in for it.
She's going to text me right away.
Yeah, she is. The Mason Crosby Show is presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're going to touch on Giannis and the Bucks. Also, Kyle Tucker breaking the bank, breaking baseball. Baseball is over as we know it. Everyone's about to strike in 2027. Great. Dusty Evely, the Acme Packing Company, he's coming in at 1 o'clock. He's going to tell us everything about Matt LaFleur. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. Bow, bow. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. When will the Matt LaFleur contract extension get done with the Packers? The Woodpecker, Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette, joined Sparky this afternoon on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's at 3 to tell us his thoughts about it on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. And in about 15 minutes, Dusty Evely is going to tell us his thoughts about that as well. We'll see if they agree. We'll see what pages they're on. I don't know what Kuhn and his group had to say this morning, but it's a pretty big topic right now, Mason. We're all just like, I don't know if we're waiting on pins and needles. Could it be a Friday 5 p.m. like hiding the breaking news as organizations do if they don't, or we wait. I think we're waiting until next week. Don't you think?
Or yeah, something will get done. Like the Packers are so good. Even like whenever a player gets a new contract, like the Packers wait like 3 to 4 days before they ever announce anything. It's like an agent might leak it or a player might say something, but the Packers are always, they kind of let everything settle and then they just kind of slip it in. At this point,
are you expecting the lame duck year before he is not the coach in Green Bay?
I don't expect them to straight up, fire him. I think that it's either take this extension that we're offering with, a couple added years at this number, or let's go into this season and we'll discuss at the end of the year next year or during the season or whatever, right? Like I think I can't imagine them just saying like, all right, we're moving on at this point. Like it just I feel like they would have made that decision at the already.
Yeah.
So unless they're going to trade him, I think it's going to be like they're going to go play out this year, coach out this year, or there's going to be a couple year extension. But I can't imagine the Packers right now giving them 4+ years added onto this. But
we'll get more into this with Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company, when he joins us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. But I wanted to get into this. We found out earlier this week the Mets were offering Kyle Tucker 4 years, $50 million per year, so around $200 million. It ends up that the Dodgers say, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, Dodgers said, "Sorry."
4 years, $60 million, $64 million signing bonus, $35 million deferred. The second largest contract in the history of Major League Baseball, second per year annual value, only to Shohei Ohtani. Baseball is officially broken, Mason.
The Dodgers, yes, have broken baseball. I mean, that's wild. Like that was the difference. I mean, they're like, all right, hey, not increments of $1 million or $2 million a year. It's like, yeah, we'll just give you $60 million a year. Whatever. Like they offered you 50, we'll give you 60. It doesn't really matter. Like we have Shohei, he's going to make it all back for us anyways. We're good. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We talked to Tim Allen a little bit about it yesterday because I asked him that question, like what's going to happen, right? Like the minority few at the top aren't going to want anything to change because like this kind of deal is a possibility, right? But there's probably a group, there's the majority of players probably want a structure where it's just like, you're just not going to like ruin teams and ruin the league by these guys just going to one team and having them dominate year in and year out.
Mason, do you see Mount Vesuvius over there? Like Tommy's ready to explode.
Is he steaming?
First of all, Kyle Tucker is not that good. Like he's just not. He is not.
So there's the bigger issue.
He is not $60 million a year good. If it was Juan Soto is signing this deal with the Dodgers, you're at least like, well, he's getting paid his market value by a team who he's willing to go to. Yeah. Kyle Tucker is severely overpaid. Like he's got opt-outs after year 2 and 3 of this contract.
Yep.
Who the hell is going to give him more than this money? Like that's a ridiculous contract he just got right now. And I was kind of in this boat of, maybe baseball isn't broken and it's just ownership in baseball is broken for a lot of this. Well, and now I am in this boat of, well, if we're just giving anyone $60 million a year and Kyle Tucker, you know what? Maybe he's a $35 million, maybe he's a $45 million a year guy. He is not a $60 million a year baseball player, and especially to go to a team where he's going to have to.
So are you mad at him, or are you still mad at the organizations? You got to be mad at the organizations. You can't be mad at the player.
You can't be mad at the Dodgers, I guess.
What? You have to be mad at the Dodgers.
Why? They're the ones who are willing to pay it. Like,
You
they're
gotta
the
be mad at the
idiots.
system.
But
Gotta
they're
be
the
mad at
one
system.
breaking the game. Like, the player's not breaking the game. Like, take the $60 million
But the
and
Dodgers
run.
don't care
No.
about the rest of the game. They don't.
That's
care
what
about
I'm
the game
saying.
of
So the
yeah.
Dodgers, be mad at the Dodgers. Don't be mad at the player. Right?
But I'm saying the Dodgers don't care either. Be mad at the system. Be mad at Major League Baseball for allowing this.
No, I'm a little bit, but like I don't know. Do you want them to control everything? It's such a unique, system. Like everything else, like people complain about the NFL and salary caps and all that. Guys get cut for that. So like as a player, you're like, keep it this way. Like I'm getting like, yeah, sure. Am I a $60 million a year? Is that my value? It is to the Dodgers.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
I want baseball to be less like horse racing. That's what I want.
Same.
We'll see what happens.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company. He is joining us next on the Mason Crosby Show.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, everybody. It's the Mason Crosby Show here. Hour number 2. Again, as Big Voice Lady said, presented by Verizon. Tommy Wirtz, Mitch Nellis, A.K. Thunder in the house. Want to remind everybody we've got a great poll question up on Twitter, or X if you prefer. Which Wisconsin sports trade would set up their team best for the future if it were to happen? Giannis at 38%, Matt LaFleur at 31%, and Freddie Peralta at 31%. Just 0.4% separating Matt LaFleur and Freddie Peralta. Man, this one has people thinking.
Great poll,
This one
Tommy.
really has
No,
people
I
thinking.
truly call this a group effort. I think we that was. I'm proud. I'm proud of our show for this today. Like,
Well,
that's where I'm at.
And I was more on the emotion side because I was just like, man, what if they trade Giannis, LaFleur, and Freddie all on the same day?
You wanted to feel that. Yeah. You
Yeah.
wanted to see what that was like.
And Tommy was like, that's crazy.
Well, we
What?
should put a poll up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
yeah,
how everyone
but
feels.
sounds like a poll question to me. And I said, yeah, but that's not the poll question. What is it? And this is our inside radio process. We are on a text message, and we just started shooting out. Do we want to go emotion? Do we want to go like what it means for the team, to what it means for the city, what it means for the state, all those sorts of things. So
We're here working hard for you. You know,
Hey.
everyone listening, hey, we're working hard behind the scenes to
That's
get
right.
this thing done.
Attitude, energy, effort.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's what
I love it.
MCS stands for.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
Speaking
the
of
way.
attitude, energy, and effort, this guy brings it every day. What days? I don't know what he brings in the offseason. We're about to find out. From Acme Packing Company, he is the one. He is the only. Dusty Evely. Dusty, what up, brother?
Gentlemen, I wish it was under better circumstances, but I am very happy to be talking to you guys today.
Good to see you,
sir.
Dusty. Yeah. So we, we posed that question. We haven't talked to you a ton about, Bucks and Brewers and all that, but like our question was, if one of these people were traded, like what impact would it have on the future, like a positive impact on the future of their franchise? Giannis, Freddie Peralta, or Matt LaFleur? Which one do you think?
Man, I gotta say, listen. As a basketball, I'm a Pistons guy. I apologize. I'm originally from Michigan, but if I'm looking at like the haul that those guys bring back, it's got to be honest, right? In terms of like the impact, the number of picks you can get back on that, what you can do with that. You have fewer players in the NBA. You can get more shots at like a first round pick that way. You'd hate to see it, what he meant to the franchise, but I think just the impact of what you're looking at there, I think it's got to be honest.
Okay. Hey, that's who I picked too. So Dusty, that's why you're my favorite. All right. Well, now let's shift back to this old Packers end of season talk. Everything. I know you've broken down film. You've looked at everything, kind of, probably giving grades and your reports on what you saw from different players. So, is there anything from this end of season recap that kind of stood out to you that was either a trend that was happening all season, or something that you just found interesting as you did your end of season evaluations?
I mean, I still want to go back through, and I've not gotten to the point where I rewatched the whole season yet. I've got everything logged. I'm going through my pivot tables. If you want to go, behind the process here, I'm going through all the data, kind of looking at all that stuff. I'm going to go back to the film at some point. But I mean, one of the things that has stuck with me, and it wavered a bit here and there as far as like it got better and then it got worse. Offensive line just down the stretch, especially that second half, was just a nightmare. And that's something that they had struggles with all year. Some of that was due to injuries. Some of that was working in young guys. And it felt like they found kind of a really nice equilibrium after Belton kind of a couple games in. He got his feet wet. Ryan had kind of settled in after the Jenkins injury, all that stuff. And then everything fell. I mean, even before the Ryan injury at the end of the game, Rasheed Walker looked lost. And I don't know if that was, some of that was, and he's a guy like, I never have
he's
been
expected to get paid this offseason.
He's expected to get paid, and like I've never been like the biggest fan of his, but he has always been like a competent left tackle. And so some of that is, I don't know how much of that was the plan. I don't know how much of that was coaching in terms of like some of those specific instances where like it was very obvious, kind of stood out. It seemed like it was on him. So I don't know where that falls, but some of those issues that kind of were there beginning of the season, kind of in the middle of the season, you're working guys out. We hadn't seen that down the stretch. And they just reared their head in that second half. So I'm really curious kind of what led to that. That was, to me, the most surprising thing, because they hadn't been moving guys on in the run game. Like I understand that. And they've not been doing that like all year. They haven't done that for 2 years at this point. But pass protection has generally been okay. For them to blow that many, that obviously down the stretch, that kind of really led to that loss. That was kind of surprising to me. So I'm curious to see if that kind of went off the rails a little earlier. I didn't really notice it, or if that was just a weird like one game thing here at the end.
Dusty, I got a question for you on that front for the offensive line. So do you wish somebody in the organization would come out and like say, like, do you think it was a mistake to put Elgton Jenkins at center? Like, do you like I do? So yeah. I'm like, is there somebody that has to be held accountable like for that decision? Like, because I believe if he's at guard and Sean Ryan plays a full year at center, like some things look different, right? Like I just don't. Elgton Jenkins has proved, like, yes, he played center before in college, and like that's what he was drafted. But like he became an All-Pro, like a Pro Bowl, like guard. Yep. Like you brought Banks in, like keep those guys at guard, develop Sean Ryan as your center. Like you're probably gonna be able to get him and bring him back on the cheap. Yep. So who has to kind of take the fall for that decision?
I'd love to see, because I don't know exactly where those decisions are made. Is that LaFleur? Is that O-line? Is that OC? Is that some combination of all? Because that seemed to be Jenkins going to center as far as like his intelligence, his movement skills. That was like a massive upgrade over kind of what they had the previous year. Like this is going to go really well. He had the injury stuff in the offseason, so he didn't practice that much. So it seemed like one of those things, if you want to stick with him at center, you want to start him from week 1 and you get 2 weeks into this thing, and he's healthy, but he's still just not looking right. That's not looking good at center. That seems like you need to have a quick hook. Like, all right, man, like we know Ryan can do it. They didn't like Jacob Monk. Maybe they didn't want like the idea of pulling Jenkins, putting Ryan in there. They don't really love their backup center situation. So now they got Jenkins, like then you have to bump him back into center, and that does some different live stuff. Maybe they were just hoping that he just takes that job and runs with it more consistent. But man, you could tell by like, I mean, the first week you give him a little grace, I feel like. By the second or third week, that seemed very much like this ain't happening, man. We got to figure out something else. So yeah, I'd love to see answers for that. Who made that call? Why they stuck with it for as long as it was? Because if he didn't get injured, he was going to be the starting center the entire year, and it was clear it wasn't working at that point. So I'd love to kind of hear the thought process behind that.
I think as we're talking about, like, is LaFleur coming back? All these things, some of the shifts that need to happen in that building are like Stenavich is an offensive line. He was an offensive lineman, helps in that room. He's an offensive coordinator. Like who's evaluating, just like not going to LaFleur and being like, hey, this has to change. It's not working. And like having like standing tall and saying, being bold and saying like, we got to switch this back. We have to, this isn't cohesive. Whether Jenkins was good or not at it, it just, the whole mesh and chemistry of that offensive line wasn't. So I just never understood, even last offseason, it was just like Jenkins is moving to center. It wasn't like we're going to try him out in this, if he's healthy through training camp and all that and like see if this is an option. It was just done. And then they had no plans to move it. And to me, that's just not good ball. Like you have to be able to adjust.
Yeah. And before you answer that, Dusty, I just want to say, like, as someone who doesn't know ball and is an idiot, I saw it. How did nobody there see it?
Well, right? And that's a funny thing. Like, he also didn't want to do it. Like, he was pretty clear in the offseason too. It wasn't like he was pushing, I want to be center. He didn't want to do it either. And so if he didn't want to do it, he couldn't practice, and then he clearly wasn't good at it. Like you said, I mean, to your point, Mason, that's exactly, I don't know. Maybe that was said in the building. Maybe it wasn't. But at some point, someone's got to be like, listen, this isn't working, right? Like, we got to switch this. Like, it doesn't matter like whose feelings we hurt at a certain point. We're in season.
Yeah.
Someone's got to take ownership of that. I don't know if that is, say, Steno wasn't there anymore. I don't know if that's Butkus's job and he didn't feel comfortable doing that, or he took it up to the floor and Steno, and they both said, we're not doing that. Like, whatever that was. I don't know what those conversations were. I have to assume those conversations happened, and maybe it was just, well, he'll get better. He'll be fine. But it felt like a mess from the jump, and it just never got better.
Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company, joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. Follow him on Twitter at Dusty Evely. I just wanted to jump in while we're on the conversation of the offensive line then, too, with Elton Jenkins being absent at the end of the year and Sean Ryan having to make that move. He is an upcoming free agent, too, Dusty. And how do you think his play will, how does that impact the decision on whether or not he's going to be back for the Green Bay Packers in 2026?
Yeah, I don't know what that contract looks like. I mean, I don't know that he wasn't like a knockout. I don't think he's going to be like Tyler Linderbaum, like all those guys, like the big names, like get money. I don't think he's going to do that, but I think he's going to get mid-tier money. Like he showed himself. He got better every year at Green Bay, even at guard. He got better every single year. And then he's a competent setter who did some very nice things. So I have to believe they're going to want to try to bring him back. I don't know what that price tag is going to look like. And then from there, it's what's the plan behind that? They drafted Jacob Monk a couple years ago. He got injured. They brought in who was Lucita Smith was snapping for those last couple things there. So I don't know. They have a good backup plan. I certainly hope that they bring him back. If nothing else, on like a 1 or 2 year deal, if the market's not really there. That seems like a test the market type of thing. If they think it's going to be an overpay, and we'll bring you back. But I really liked him there.
Last year, I mean, we just were like, Josh Myers must be getting a bag if he's not coming back to Green Bay. And then he goes out and signs the $3 million backup center deal. Yeah. I don't know if me and Mason have been ever more correct and angry at the exact same time. Like it was just, why do you not bring him back for that price tag? That the whole thing, Dusty, was the consistency the year before and the health of the year before is why the offensive line looked as good as it did.
And I will say, Josh Myers, again, an offensive lineman that pukes on the field and like just keeps rolling. Like that's the type of player that I want in my locker room. Like it's like that guy. Like you need those types of guys. Just like like Josh Myers is a tough dude. Like he plays hard. Like he's a tough physical guy. So you go searching for this right thing, but sometimes right in front of you, there's like this person that you can get on the cheap, and be able to just keep rolling with something that's proven to work.
It's not like a Hallmark thing right there, Mason. Sometimes the one you love has been right in front of you the whole time, type of thing.
As long as he pukes on the field.
Hallmark movies, gross.
We're so emotional on this show.
I know. We're all about feelings here.
We're
on the
in
Mason
touch.
Crosby
We're in
show.
touch.
Well, it's like that. Like, so we'll get off this, and go to some other things, but it's, it's, I would kick it. I would punt at practice. I would punt and do some things, but like, it would have been ridiculous for them to be like, hey, you want to be our punter in the game? Like that just wouldn't have made sense. Like, sure. Like to think that like we did this Packers team with Elton Jenkins did what you do with like your best offensive lineman in Pee Wee football. You're like, all right, they're going to be the center because we need them to snap the ball and do all that. Like this is the National Football League. Like Elton Jenkins has proven himself as an elite guard. Why move him? Like, so like to me, that kind of mindset needs to shift. And so that segue brings me to special teams, because we've been talking about that a lot. Philosophy on special teams. You can change the coach. You can do all these things, but there's been a lot of special teams coaches. There's been all that. But what has stayed true? The philosophy of how they approach special teams, the guys that are in that building that are not dedicated to be special teams players. If I were the coach there, I'd say, I need a big guy, I need a linebacker body, and I need a skill player. I need 3 players that are special teams oriented, and those are my bell cows. And then I will train them up to get everybody on the same page. Like what do they do to shift the philosophy there on the special teams?
I don't know, because it feels like they have tried different things. I mean, when they brought in Bisaccia, that was one of the things. Like he kind of brought in some of his guys. It was always kind of like bottom of the roster guys. I still remember very passionately talking about Dallin Levitt for about 1.5 years there, because that was his dude. And then he wasn't good at that. Bisaccia was another guy. This was a specialist thing. He banged the table for Anders Carlson, and that we saw how that panned out. So some of that too, I wonder, this is like a behind the scenes thing as well. How much of this is he's banging the table for certain guys? Nick Neiman, seemed like a guy this year that they probably were going hard for. Like that was a special teams maven, and he was good, and then he got injured, and then he came back this last game here. But I do think they're trying to base it around, which I think a lot of teams do. You're basing around 3 or 4 guys, and you fill that out with kind of that bottom of the roster churn. And I don't know if there's anything to do with it, but Packers do seem to they churn that bottom of the roster a ton, and I don't keep up with transaction trends of other teams as much as I do with the Packers. to know if it's done to quite that extent. But if there is that bottom 10% is moving around that much, and those are a lot of the bodies you're kind of throwing out there. I mean, you see guys out there making plays like Aaron Mosby had a great special teams year. I thought he died on the field a couple times there. He was getting like just knocked around like crazy, and he kept coming back out. He had a tremendous year, but they don't really fill it out with a lot of their top end guys, I think, unless they can help it, which I understand to a certain extent. But some of that is the talent of the guys that they have, that these are our special teams guys. It feels like there's been whiffs there at times. And to me, that almost feels like a bigger deal than the overall philosophy. Like, these are going to be our key pieces. And a handful of times, dude, like, those don't pan out. And if those are your dudes and they don't pan out, it's hard to fill out the rest of it if those your central pieces are just not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
So then the question comes in, the bottom of the roster, like the depth of the roster. So this is a personnel issue then,
right? Is that Goody?
Yeah. I mean, so you got to look at that personnel department. It's like, who's finding these guys? Who's Goody signing off on? And I think philosophically, if you bring in like for offensive guys, you have Bo Melton. He's like probably he's one of your tougher receivers. So they try to put him at corner and then continue to play special teams, right? So it's like the offensive side of the ball, you're not bringing in like those dogs, right? Like those guys. Tucker Kraft's the only tight end on that offensive side of the ball that is going to run through a brick wall type of guy. Mm-hmm. You need tight ends and you need linebackers that can play special teams. It's simple, but it's not easy, right? So it's.
When even some of those linebacker guys, like I know Brenton Cox, like didn't play special teams. So even he's a bottom of the roster type of edge guy, but he was not good at teams. So they didn't have him on teams. And so there's also those things that's very strange.
Yeah, some guys just can't. I mean, special teams, just for anybody like watching that, they might, you say bottom of the roster and all that, but those guys are playing football at the purest level. You're running in space. And you have to change directions and you have to make tackles in the open field, sometimes with a guy blocking you, right? So you're playing defensive lineman and linebacker and DB all at the same time if you're covering kicks. So it is a unique skill set, and you have to have the right type of people in that building. So for me, that's definitely a philosophy change. Mm-hmm. Is like, how are we training up guys? Who are we bringing in that are just a little crazy, that will do all the wild things on special teams?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite players for a while was Antonio Morrison. I think he was there for 2 years, linebacker out of Florida, and his whole thing was just he's insane. Whatever you ask him to do, that man's just insane. Like, give me a couple of those guys and just have him run down the field fast. Just do that.
Yeah, exactly. Eric Wilson, right? Like, he started on that Vikings defense, and he was a guy we could have had him back for pretty inexpensive.
Yeah. And how many guys can you say that about on this roster? Like, who are you like, this guy's a psychopath? Like Micah Parsons, absolutely, but he's not playing special teams, right?
Tucker Kraft.
Yeah,
Tucker Kraft, but he's not going to play special teams anymore. Yeah. I mean, you don't have like that kind of bottom of the roster, like rotation guy that is just going to be a little bit out of control. Like, it's just a little crazy.
Just slightly on edge. Yeah,
you need some of that. You need some of those guys. All right. So what are you thinking? What are you thinking with the coach stuff? Let's go to Hafley first before we jump into LaFleur and like what they're going to do there.
Sure.
Do you think Hafley is going to get a job in this cycle, head coaching job?
Man, it seems like it. There's so many open. He's taken a lot of interviews. I mean, he'd be if he gets an offer. I know you want the right job and all that stuff, but I was thinking recently about Ejiro Evero, who's been with the Panthers, DC with the Panthers. He was a hot name for a while. He came up. He was with the Rams. He interviewed with the Packers, if not mistaken, for that DC job when Barry came on. Was like hot name on the head coaching circuit for a while. And it just kind of dropped off. He's been with the Panthers with the DC for a couple of years. So you got to strike while the iron's hot. So for Hafley's perspective, if he gets offered a job, even if it's not the perfect job, he takes it. And there's so many openings and it's such a weird hiring cycle, it feels like. Because all of those, like the next hot shot OC guys, I don't think are quite there yet. Like they're not play calling duties. They're a little younger, like younger than McVay was when he started. So that like the next OC isn't there. There's a handful of DC guys like Minter feels like a shoe-in. Hafley, like the defenses hasn't been great, especially this past year after Parsons went out. But he's spoken of so highly in terms of the way he teaches players, the way he speaks, the way he relates to guys, the way guys relate to him and talk to him. He feels like a guy that would interview extremely well. And there's so many open jobs, and it feels like there's not a ton of great candidates this year. I feel like he gets an offer, and at that point, again, I feel like if he gets an offer, I think he'd be kind of dumb to say no to it. So I feel like he's probably gone.
Those interviews have to be like multi-pronged, but one of the pieces is who are you bringing with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like, who do you think Halfley, goes into an interview and says, all right, like, this is who I want for my Chase for my offensive coordinator. This is what I want for these types of, spots. Like who do you think, and because Halfley was at Boston College and different, who does he bring on as his offensive coordinator if he were to get a head coaching job?
Man, I honestly have no idea. Like maybe it would be he try to bring someone like Stenavich with him if it's play calling duties. I don't know how he feels about him. I mean, he was with the Niners and during the Shanahan era. I know Ansala was there as well, so maybe there's a guy off of that tree. I've not looked too deep into that. He's a guy who's bounced around a bit and spent a lot of time. If Mike
LaFleur doesn't get a head coaching job, he maybe snags him over.
Maybe. I mean, I do think he knows. He seems like he has enough connections that I'm sure he knows some guys, but I don't know that he has strong connections that I can think of at the moment in terms of this is the dude he's bringing with him.
Yeah, that's my only thought with him at this moment in this cycle is just all right, what does he bring as a staff, right? Those are questions that are going to be asked, but I agree with you. Strike with the iron's hot. If you think LaFleur isn't going to get extended or whatever, they're kind of trying to figure out if this is a long-term thing, all of a sudden, this staff turns over next year and you're part of that, your prospects aren't going to be as high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, and if you have this defense and you go out next year and you don't have success, now next year you're probably not in the running for a job. So I agree with you. I think you do have to strike if he gets the right offer. But all right, now we got to go to the LaFleur. We got Dusty Evely on the Mason Crosby show, joining us, talking all things Packers. What do you think is going to happen there?
Man, it feels like a lot of posturing to me. I feel like he's coming back. It seems like both sides kind of want to do it again. The more they drag this too, and with the hiring cycle being kind of so weird, it also feels like if you want to bring someone else in, I don't know that there's someone else you want to bring in that you're going to get on that much of a discount besides what you're getting for LaFleur, unless it is bringing up Halfley, which is his own thing. It feels like a lot of posturing. It feels like I would, from what I've heard, read, seen, everything, feels like probably a year's money type of thing where they probably want him. I can understand it from both sides. I would imagine the Packers probably we'll give you a 3-year extension, because they don't want to be on the hook for too much. So probably the money would be about the same on a per year basis. And he wants more assurances and he wants 5 years. I would imagine that's probably the hang up. I think they both want to get it done. It's just a matter of how long that contract's going to be. And then if we push it to 5, can we pay you a little less, that kind of thing. But I would imagine this gets done. It feels like it's agents speaking through different channels at this point to me. But at this point to me, feels like LaFleur's back. I'd be kind of shocked at this point if he's not. And then I will look really dumb if he is not. But that's the way it feels to me at the moment.
Why, in your opinion, you being in this space, and I get pretty frustrated and heated up about this, why is it so crazy for a head coach to coach out his last year of his contract and then go and do that? If I'm LaFleur, yeah, I want security. I want all that. But if you bet on yourself and you think you are as good as everyone kind of is saying, he'll have all these prospects, why would you take anything and not just play out this year, coach out this year and then see what happens?
And that's something I've been thinking as well. And it seems like that may be more Packers philosophy than his philosophy. Cause I know policy has said we don't want lame duck coaches. And I don't know. I understand that to some extent if you're concerned about the guy's motivation or wandering eye or looking for jobs in season, something like that. I don't know that LaFleur is that type of guy from everything I've seen. I think it's focused on this next year. I'm with you that if you can't get something done and you see what the next hiring cycle looks like, especially this year, I mean, it feels like people are waiting for the dominoes to fall, but there's what Harbaugh went. And so it's 8 open jobs now. Next year, maybe there's 3 and the demand's a little higher and they're looking to drive that price up a little bit. From the Packers perspective, if you want to keep him, we've seen this, the Cowboys do this with their free agents every single time they come up. They wait until the last minute and then it's more expensive because the player has more leverage and everything goes up and everything gets more expensive and all that stuff. We don't want to do that. If the Packers want to pay him, go ahead and pay him. If they don't want to pay him, I'm with you. Fine. Let him go into the next year. If it doesn't work out, Packers let him walk. No harm, no foul. LaFleur gets to find another job. It could potentially work out well for both sides. But then if they end up going on a run next year and then you want to keep him around, you've priced yourself out of him or made him more expensive, and now he's hitting the open market. So if I'm LaFleur, I would have no issue saying, all right, dude, I'll just go in. You're not risking an injury. This is not like the last year and I need assurances because I might tear my ACL and my career might be done or whatever it might be. It's a coach. If I'm LaFleur, I have no problem going in lame duck next year, seeing the chips fall where they may. I just don't think the Packers want to do that.
Dusty, if you need a story, you should write about how the special teams coordinator position and how there's not enough former kickers in the space.
Exactly.
That's all. No
We're
coincidence.
putting my name out there.
We're just seeing if they're like.
Yeah.
I can't name a special teams coordinator that was a kicker in the NFL. Do you?
That's true.
I think you might think I have more influence than I do there, Tommy, but listen, I'll see what I can do. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Just throw it out there.
Just keep putting it out in the world. It's fine.
We're on a mission here to at least see if an offer comes across. He doesn't have to say yes necessarily, but like, how cool would that be, right?
Listen, I wouldn't say no. I'd be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Big Mike comes down here to the Titans. I'm definitely reaching out and just going, hey, you know what? If you need something, just let me know.
Anyone else get chills? Anyone else?
Big Mike and Mason back together, leading the Tennessee Titans.
Like Tommy's in first grade all over again.
Listen, I'm only 3 hours away. I'd have to come down and watch some games if that happened in Nashville. I'll tell you that, man.
Special teams assistant film coordinator, Dusty.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, let's go.
And
I'd lean into all my guy. Yeah, I'd be getting Dusty. I'd be getting Andy. I'd be like, all right, guys, like y'all got to help me out. Watch some film. Get this thing dialed in. I love this.
I'm here for it.
All right, Dusty. Yeah, my last thing on the coaching thing, and then we'll let you go, is just like, again, the Packers shouldn't worry. Like they have tons of cash. Like they're flush with money. So like it should be less about how much it costs to keep or hire pay the head coach, and more like is this the right for the next 3-5 years? Will we get to where we want to get to? So like for the Packers organization, they need to make that decision. Who cares what the dollar amount is? And for LaFleur, he needs to have and if I'm interviewing him as like head policy, I'm like, all right, what is your plan? Like, are you changing coaches? Are you doing what is the plan to take this to the next level? Do you think do you agree with that? Like that should be the mindset, because money aside, like the Packers can pay a coach. They could pay Harbaugh $20 million. Like it doesn't really matter with what they have. So is that a philosophy that you think they should be going into the negotiations with?
I think 100%. I mean, I do think you're looking somewhere between 16 to 18 million for LaFleur, I would assume, which that seems like a lot, but that's also like what Cohen and Ben Johnson, I think, got 12 or 13. So it'll be a little bump over them. I mean, I assume we're going to see Jesse Minter probably get something in that range, just the demand on him. So it's the going rate for guys you see as top tier coaches. But from both sides, I can see policy doing the thing. All right, are you going to make changes? I can also see, because there's been reports that I've seen about the potential budget on assistant coaches in Green Bay. Now they don't want to pay some of the offensive line coach, linebacker coach, how there might be a kind of a budget cap on there. From LaFleur's perspective, if that is true, and I'm not 100% that's true. If that's true from LaFleur's perspective, that's the policy going, listen, man, I'd love to come back, but we need to expand this coaching budget. I need to bring guys in that have a better pedigree. They did that for Bisaccia, but only after they went through 3 special teams coordinators that just botched it because they tried to do internal hires. They try to do Steno to OC and Buckus to O-line. I don't think that's worked. I think they need to look to hire from outside, and I think that may be a budget thing. And if that's a budget thing, that's on LaFleur's table. Policy may say, hey, are you going to make coaching changes? And LaFleur's counter would be, yeah, but you got to give me the money to do it. So I think I think that would be the conversation that's probably happening there.
I like that.
Man, there's a lot going on at 1265 in that conversation right now, and we're just flies on the wall, just waiting for that announcement from on high, that Mount Sinai announcement for what's coming down, those tablets coming down by Goody and a policy.
It's so breaking at midnight tonight. It's so coming at a time where no one's going to be awake.
Mason, I'll call you. I'll wake you up.
During the wild card game tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh my God! The NFL would love that.
Yeah. Oh well, they extended Matt LaFleur.
Oh, it was signed 2 days ago. We forgot about it. We're just
right. Yeah,
exactly.
That's most
we
likely.
Didn't tell anyone.
Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company. Dusty, thank you so much for jumping on today. We'll as soon as there's breaking news, I'm sure you'll be on our speed dial, and we will talk to you soon, my friend.
You know where to find me. Thanks for talking, gentlemen. Appreciate you.
You bet. That's Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company. Follow him on all the socials. Our picks for divisional round week, super divisional round weekend.
Is it wild divisional
wild
round?
divisional round weekend?
Wild is crazy. Like from wild card now it's wild.
Crazy
super
divisional
wild
round.
card, crazy wild super
Let's
divisional
go.
round.
We'll make our predictions when we come back. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of not playing this weekend, the Green Bay Packers.
Come on.
That
It's time for the boys' weekly picks. Hear who they think will win the big games this weekend. Just don't trust them. It's weekly picks with Mason Crosby, Mitch Nellis, and Tommy Wirtz.
Touchdown. Touchdown.
It's just like,
Yes, Tommy.
Bring the show in. Bring the show in first.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz, the kicker with beer and I can't read the whole show. I forget it. Beer and pancakes
Beer and
friendship.
burgers and pancakes and friendship and magic.
Oh my gosh!
Can't wait
What?
for the magic to happen.
Right.
Again.
I have Jeff and Fox Point was at there was like a Pat Murphy on stage event last night, where he was just like doing Q&A, but also like talking about like not baseball, but just like life.
Doing magic.
And apparently
tricks.
he was like great. And Jeff said, what was that, Mace?
Doing magic tricks.
Right. He might. I mean, he did magic tricks with the Brewers last year. 97 wins for that team.
Yeah.
That's a magic trick.
Pulling
That's the best.
pancakes out of his pocket for everyone.
Yeah.
I'll bet he did. I'll bet
wow.
they had pancakes.
That was magic. That
Yeah.
was magic.
All right, let's get to our weekly picks, Tommy.
Yeah. So looking at our week, we're gonna go with the divisional round slate. And you want to pick the championship today? Like the game's
Or
not
should we
till
do that on Monday?
It's not till Monday, right?
Mace, you want to do that on Monday?
Yeah, let's do it on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Indiana, by the way, I'm taking Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
There's
if
no drama
what's the
with that
line?
game.
Is there a line?
That line is 8.5 on Monday as
Yes.
of right now. And I'm gonna tell you right now,
Miami's D's for real.
I love a lot of dogs this weekend. I
All right.
love the underdogs this weekend. Buffalo is going to Denver. Denver currently a 1-point favorite this week. Over under is 45.5, which seems too high in this ball game too, quite frankly. I'll kick things off first. I will be taking Denver in this game. I will
Okay.
take Denver
so
in
you
this
just.
game.
I love,
I love
hey guys,
dogs.
God.
I
What
love
just
the
happened
dog.
there?
Dude,
Let's
That
go
was
with the
crazy.
favorite.
let me set it up. All right. It's called the
Unbelievable.
tease, guys.
Okay.
All right.
So you love Broncos. You love horses.
Yeah.
You don't love dogs.
Yeah.
I get it.
By the way,
Yeah.
you guys love Ray Allen back here? Ray Allen just shooting
Oh, hey,
hoops.
what's
No
up,
big
Ray?
deal.
Speaking
yeah.
of dogs,
Yeah.
I got you. But go ahead. Anyone else pick it up after that?
Yeah,
I'm-
Buffalo. I'll take Buffalo to win. I like against young quarterbacks. We saw what they did to Trevor. They're going to do same thing to Bo. Josh has been there before. He'll find a way to win the game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos. I think
Nice.
they're-
Wait,
I
you're
think
taking the
they're
Broncos?
I'm taking the Broncos. Yeah.
That's
What,
right.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't believe in veteran quarterbacks?
I mean, I do, but I don't think the Bills defense can do what they did against Jacksonville last week. I think
I don't know. I think
they,
they
like their
can.
defense was a completely different defense last weekend than they've been most of the year. I think Denver's defense is just so ridiculously good.
Yeah, and I think that just on top of that, if you look up and down the roster, quarterback advantage Buffalo, everywhere else advantage Denver.
Yeah,
It just
That's
feels
fine.
like
That's fine.
next game, San Francisco at Seattle, 7-point favorite.
Ooh.
Seattle Seahawks. It's the easy. Lock it up, San Fran. San Fran's going to win outright in this game. Like that.
Wow.
Sam Darnold turns into a pumpkin and Saturday night it's over. I'm telling you, that is the Tommy's lock of the century
I love
is
it.
that the 49ers cover 7.
Mason, they just played 2 weeks ago in San Francisco, and Seattle destroyed them.
13-3.
But like their defense was in their defense. Nobody else could have been on the field. Their defense dominated literally
All right.
everything in that game. I don't know.
So you're taking Seattle.
I think I'm leaning toward. I don't like Seattle. I think it'll be a close game, but I think I'm taking Seattle just to spite Tommy.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I'm riding with Tommy. I'm fading Mitch all day here. I'm
Fine.
I'm going Niners. I said the Niners, if they got past Philly, like they were kind of that team that I'm like, man, this team could get hot and you'll be dangerous. So I'm taking the Niners there to take down. And Sam Darnold has a little oblique thing that he's dealing with. He slept weird. He's a little nervous. I think
What? I didn't know about that.
Hey,
Yeah.
right. Like he's
That
slipping.
changes my whole plan now.
Exactly. What, he's slipping the shower with how athletic he is? Like I'm just saying, like, figure it out.
don't drop the soap.
Hey, somebody
there.
told me once that it's weird and hard to go play in Seattle.
Yeah.
It is
Somebody
weird.
told me that once.
That was
is
was
weird.
back in 2014. Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, don't mention that year.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
we're done with that. We're done with that.
Mitch, how you feeling about your Pats? They're 3-point favorites this week. I'll let you kick this off over the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. If you're not watching on YouTube or X or Twitter, you're missing out. I'm holding up my mini pennant of the new. Oh, I meant to wear my Brady jersey today.
Good job.
I
That's
think
bad luck. Now they're not going to win.
Right. So what is the number on this?
3.
So can I pick? So I literally said to Mrs. Thunder this morning, I feel like the Patriots could win this game 3-0. like that's how good Houston's defense is. They will dominate, but I don't think they'll score against the Patriots. It could be 3-0, but I'll take the Patriots.
I am taking Houston. Love this
Good,
dog
good.
as well.
Yeah,
Love this dog as well. Drake May going up against that defense. Like,
that's fine.
I am all in on Houston. Houston might go to the Super Bowl. That's another one I'm at now. I'm getting close on that. I'm getting close.
You know Nico Collins is probably out, right?
Don't care. Their defense is unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
They're not going to score, Tommy. You can't win 0-0.
If a defense could give up negative points in the
Right,
NFL,
right,
I would,
but you can't-
I would
but they
trust it
can't.
to be Houston.
I
That's
agree,
how I feel.
but they can't.
Crosby?
I like Drake May. I like this Patriots team, and I picked them a lot this year. But I'm rolling with the Houston Texans. I'm rolling with defense in this round. I feel like divisional round defenses just now have their groove, especially the two that have played. I guess Denver hasn't played. I saw that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm doing
Good
a
point,
Tommy
good
thing.
point.
Like I'm taking all the dogs, and then I say something that doesn't make sense.
Mm.
I'm taking the Texans. I think this defense is the type of defense that can win a championship.
Through 3 games, have you guys picked the same and I've picked the opposite?
Yes, we are fading you hard right now.
I have a feeling that that we're on the same page on this last one, but we'll see.
Well,
actually, me and Tommy. I think me and Tommy are. Not sure about you, Mace. You like old guys.
Told you
I like old guys.
I love the dogs, and I think that if a bear could make a noise that wasn't a growl, it would be a bark this week. Give me the Chicago Bears. Again, 4-point underdogs. Matthew Stafford going to play in the cold.
I know.
I hate the matchup for them. I hate
it's
it.
It's going to be 15 degrees, like gusts up to 30 to 40 miles an
cold.
hour.
Yeah.
Bears.
Yeah, Mason, I'll go. I'm Bears. I love getting the points at home. This might be I drive to the sports book and put real Thunder Ducats down on the Bears. Thunder Ducats. That should be a segment. Thunder Ducats.
It just pains me so much because this game is going to be a 3-point game.
Yep.
Like it's going to be really tight.
Yep.
And
they're just favored
so
by
you have
too
to
much.
go. I have to pick the Bears.
Yeah.
I have to pick the Bears to even just cover, even if they lose.
Right. Yep.
I think they still cover this thing.
Mitch, do not put any money on it today, Mitch. I need you to wait till the 4th quarter when the Bears are down 10, and then you drive down to the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and they're going to win the game outright.
Mason, I think I said this on Wednesday when you were out. I'm so mad at myself that I wasn't the guy last Saturday night that every 10 minutes bet $100 on the Bears money line starting at halftime or starting midway through, because every 10 minutes, it would have been plus 800. You're winning thousands of dollars if you had bet the Bears money line just every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes. Yeah. Just go nuts.
Putting a little on.
And we all knew it was going to happen.
Are we mentally prepared for the Bears to host the NFC Championship game?
No,
because they're going to be in Seattle, suckers.
Nope. I mean,
Niners aren't winning this game without Kittle, with their defense all banged up. You can pick +7, and you guys might be right. The Niners aren't winning this game.
I'm scared.
Seattle's defense is going to show you they're not that far behind Houston. You are overlooking Seattle's defense right now. And they honestly, I just got off the phone with the Seahawks. They are offended by the both.
Sam Darnold might not play. Does that change?
No, is that real?
No, he's going to play. He's going to stink. That's what's going to happen.
He might not even play.
If he doesn't play, that changes everything, obviously.
Who's
their backup?
Drew Lock.
Oh, yeah.
No. Drew Lock's not in the NFL. That's not a real NFL quarterback. Sign somebody new. There's got to be somebody off the street.
There
Flacco.
has to be
Can they sign Flacco?
Yeah, if Flacco comes, then
I'd have Flacco over Drew
Malik
Lock.
Willis available to be signed for the playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
That would be
trade him
unreal.
right now.
We got to wrap things up. Mason is going to take us into the weekend. Remember, Wisconsin Sports Daily, the Woodpecker, Ryan Wood on at 3:00 with Sparky. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Oh, great show today. Great week. We dove deep into the coaching, what's going to happen, and nothing has yet. So we are just going to keep holding tight as we move into this long weekend for the kiddos. I just realized that it's Monday, no school. So
one of my kids, Mason, has a half day, and they do specific programming on Monday, which I kind of don't mind. But I know that the Bucks also play at noon, so we are going to. Like for the Mason Crosby show, we're just going to do play-by-play of the Bucks game on Monday.
Let's just hang out and watch the game. I like that.
It's actually an honor to be at the Atlanta Hawks. Like they host like the crown jewel of the MLK Day. So that's it's kind of
cool. That's great. I love that.
Yep.
So then big basketball game tomorrow. We're still searching for our first win.
Okay.
I was a little frustrated last week. I'm not going to lie as a coach, I was just like we had a great practice leading up to the game. I felt like this was our week, and I'm not going to say there was some some weird stuff going on, but
regression.
The team we played had only won one game. They didn't seem like good on paper, and then they just dominated. I'm
did they have a ringer? Did they have somebody? They
did. They had three girls that they were the best team we played, and I was like, how did they lose to anyone in this league?
I wonder if those girls are
questioning.
If those girls were multi-sports and they were doing other stuff.
Yeah, just some guest players come in. They knew the threat that we posed. They knew the threat.
All right, go get it tomorrow then.
I am. I'm gonna just like we talked with the floor, unlocking love. I'm gonna unlock Christine. I'm just gonna say, hey, you go. You take this thing over.
Yeah, she's ready.
Thing.
Energy, effort, attitude.
Yeah. Dude, I preach it every time I get in front of those 7 and 8 year old girls. I'm just like, hey, I might not be able to coach you through this thing on everything, but we will give energy, attitude, have good attitude, great energy, and give maximum effort.
I need you
all we can control
before the game. Say I dare you to be the first one to the ball.
Exactly.
Ooh,
I implemented whoever comes when I call everyone up, whoever's last there now has to do 5 jumping jacks.
Wow. Yep.
We're coaching effort.
Whitefish Bay girls at home against Germantown. Big matchup tonight. That'll be a good one. Like Mason said, it's been a great week. We're all on Matt LaFleur watch right now. We got some good football to watch this weekend. And will Giannis be a Buck on Monday? Nobody knows. Will Doc Rivers be the coach? Nobody knows.
No one knows. And Tommy is wearing 14 layers inside. So
nice sleeping bag, bro.
Love the dogs.
He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. Mason Crosby's the kicker. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. Have a great weekend, everybody.
See ya.